We start with breaking news here at 6 o'clock. Fire crews on the scene of a large apartment complex fire in Aurora.
This is off of Dillon Way near I-225 and 6th Avenue. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live from the scene right now. And Courtney, we know 50 people are now displaced after this fire.
Yes, that's right, Corey and Drew. And Aurora Fire is still here on scene, keeping an eye on the hot spots here with this fire. So it's completely under control. They had it under control within 1 hour of coming out here. I'm going to have my photographer, Alex Dickey, just show you. We have a firefighter here on top of this ladder, keeping an eye on the hot spots. So we've seen a couple plumes of smoke over the last hour or so as firefighters are just keeping a watch to make sure that this fire does not rekindle. They have a close watch on it, but PIO Eric Hurst told us earlier this morning that this fire moved really quickly. Within 20 minutes, the roof and attic area of this fire was completely consumed in flames. And within 20 minutes as well, they were able to get people out of this building. So when a fire happens at 1:24 in the morning, firefighters say, you know, the biggest thing that they're worried about is sleeping people inside of the building. So the way that this building is structured is that all the apartments empty into a hallway inside of the building, and that hallway was filled with smoke, so that forced firefighters to have to rescue people from their windows. They used ground ladders to get people out, so the building was successfully evacuated. 3 people were evaluated by paramedics here on scene, and 2 were transported to the hospital with minor smoke inhalation. So the roof, as you can see, is completely collapsed here. And the cause of this fire is still under investigation. Firefighters, as you can see, still here on scene several hours after it started at 1:24 this morning. They told us about 24 units in this building were impacted, and they're estimating that's about 50 people who are displaced. The Red Cross is here on scene assisting those people, and they're still investigating the cause of this fire. Live in Aurora, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, Courtney, we appreciate that update. Of course, we'll have more from Courtney as we move through the morning.
All right, here's a look at some of our other top stories this morning. As we enter the worst time of the year on the road for teen drivers, the tips that could help parents keep their kids safe when behind the wheel.
Also, a live look here from Ball Arena. Actually, this is not Ball Arena. This is the look outside to the mountains, maybe the Avs praying to the heavens as they enter their critical matchup tonight. We are going to talk more about the Avs. They have that big game coming up tonight in Las Vegas. They need to win to keep their season alive. As we say, thanks for joining us here in the 6 o'clock hour. There's the ice that they hope to play on later this week, but they do have to win tonight in order to get back to Ball Arena. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Corey Rose. Before we get to all of those stories, let's get a check the forecast right now. Katie LaSalle is joining us. Katie, today we're going to be about 80 degrees. Not bad.
Warm this afternoon. Let's keep our fingers crossed so we don't have a sweep, and the Avs will be back later on this week. It is mostly cloudy skies this morning, coming off a nice warm Memorial Day. Hope you had a safe, enjoyable weekend. Today, a pretty similar weather pattern. We're starting off dry, a little more cloud coverage out the door. High 50s, low 60s, mild early, and warming to the upper 70s to low 80s. Now, the winds will pick up, impacting a big portion of the metro area and eastern plains, so blustery later on. A few more gusty storms and showers will be on tap, mainly south and west of the Denver area for today, and we will be tracking storm chances each afternoon through the end of this week. So a pretty unsettled weather pattern that will be with us as we wrap up May. Temperatures, though, this morning slightly above normal, 40s and 50s in the mountains even as well. And you can see from our Denver forecast, daytime highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, expecting 80 out at the airport and high 80s over portions of the eastern plains where we will be watching the winds for today, gusting upwards of 25 miles per hour from the south. As we get into about 3 p.m., we do have the potential of picking up some rain showers, even a few isolated thunderstorms. So you hear that rumble of thunder, make your way indoors. This will really be between 3 and 6 p.m. west of town, and then we will clear out later on tonight. Risk of severe weather is low, and then for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. I'll detail the 7-day forecast and when we could see some of those stronger, more organized, widespread thunderstorms and showers roll in coming up in just a few. Brianna?
Katie, thank you so much. Happy Tuesday, everyone. A live look, 6:03 is your time. A live look from I-25 at 58th Avenue. A quiet start to your Tuesday morning. I'm not seeing any issues on the express lanes, southbound lanes, so all the cars heading towards us. And the northbound lanes right now of I-25 still pretty quiet. Not seeing any crashes. We did have one happening along northbound I-25 in Hamden, but that crash already cleared up for your Tuesday morning. So I want to get to your drive times and show you what we're seeing across the metro area. A lot of green on your screen, so no issues to report, especially on our major interstates. So 225, I-70, 270 as well. Right now, if you are taking I-25 from downtown to the tech center or vice versa, you are looking at a nice 12-minute drive both directions.
Anna, thank you. We have just entered the start of what's called the 100 deadliest days of summer. It's the stretch between Memorial Day to Labor Day. The number of deadly car crashes spiked significantly for teen drivers during that time period. Jonathan Esani with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says any new driver, regardless of age, is more prone to car crashes. But inexperience is just one part of what makes driving riskier for teens.
That's when teens drive more, they have more free time, and they're often driving in higher risk conditions. Their brains are still developing and they have more difficulty calibrating risk, frankly.
Drivers between the ages of 16 and 19 have a deadly crash rate almost triple drivers aged 20 and older per mile driven. And deadly crashes for teens rise 30% during this time of year. There are a few bad habits you can talk with your teens about to improve their safety. Not wearing a seatbelt, distracted driving, impaired driving, speeding, and having young passengers in the car all raise a teen's driving risk.
I don't know how this happened, but I have two of the most responsible teen drivers ever invented. I mean, these kids are like serious about staying safe. Like they're following all the rules. They're not rule breakers, so we have been fortunate, but this is something you're gonna have to deal with. Believe me when I tell you, it's going to happen sooner than later.
I know. I get anxiety already thinking about it.
I was always nervous about like the kid that I never trusted coming to pick up my kids and them getting in the car with. But most often I find that they're doing the driving and I'm like, good, that's the kid I actually want driving, my own.
Yes. I have also noticed that a lot of kids these days are waiting to get their license.
That's absolutely true.
It's weird.
I mean, why.
When I turned 16, the day I turned 16, I was ready to drive, but teens aren't the same.
My two were actually like that. They got their license on their 16th birthday, the day of the birthday. So there you go. We have another car-related, traffic-related story for you next. If you're thinking about filling up your tank, I mean, we all have to do it at some point. Today may be the best day this week to get it done because right now prices are down. In Denver, the average price is down almost 18 cents a gallon from just last week. And overall in Colorado, gas prices down a little less than 16 cents a gallon from last week. Across the country, gas prices down about 6.5 cents a gallon. The savings, though, may not last. According to the latest report from the Gas Buddy report, this drop could be because the market was expecting a deal between the U.S. and Iran. Since that deal hasn't happened yet, prices could creep back up.
All right, the lawsuit against the city of Aurora filed by the family of Kylan Lewis, the man shot and killed by Aurora police 2 years ago.
Yeah, this new lawsuit filed in federal court claims that Aurora city officials fostered an environment that led to Lewis's death. At the time of his death, he was wanted on an arrest warrant, accused of shooting a man. 9 News Investigates previously reported that detectives never found a gun. They could not tie Lewis to shell casings at the scene, and they didn't have fingerprints or DNA. Regardless, a SWAT officer shot Lewis 7 seconds after getting out of his car. The suit alleges that, among other things, the city of Aurora failed to properly train its officers, and that by defending the officer who shot Lewis, the city was sending the wrong message.
Officers know that they can kill people with impunity. They're not going to be motivated to stop doing it.
We did reach out to the city of Aurora yesterday, but because of the holiday, no one was available to address the lawsuit. A separate suit filed in state court alleges the officer who shot Lewis violated his civil rights. That suit, by the way, is scheduled to go to trial sometime next year. In other local news this morning, Denver police say a man crashed through an employee gate at the airport and then tried to resist arrest when officers showed up. This all happened early yesterday morning. Police say the suspect crashed his Lexus through a loading dock gate near the airport office building. He eventually ditched the car, and police found him hiding behind an electrical box. They also say he tried to kick officers as they made the arrest. His charges will likely include DUI, resisting arrest, and criminal mischief.
It's 6:07 right now, and Vice President J.D. Vance will meet with state attorneys generals today in Washington. They will be sitting down with Vance's anti-fraud task force focused on cutting waste in government programs. But Colorado's Attorney General Phil Weiser will not be there. He is one of about 24 state officials who rejected the invitation over the weekend. In a letter, they said the anti-fraud group is not living up to the spirit of collaboration, since federal officials only gave about 24 hours notice for the meeting. The vice president is still expected to meet with a handful of Republican officials. We will be sitting down with Phil Weiser and the other candidates for governor during a series of debates next week. On Thursday at 6 o'clock, we're going to air a commercial-free debate between Weiser and the other Democratic candidate, U.S. Senator Michael Bennet. That debate will last an hour. The Republican debate is 1 week from today, Tuesday, June 2nd. 9 News is hosting the only scheduled debate with all 3 Republican candidates: State Senator Barb Kirkmeyer, State Representative Scott Bottoms, and Ministry Leader Victor Marks. It will be one of your last chances to hear from the candidates before ballots go out to voters on June 8th. Those ballots must be returned by June 30th. New this morning, South Korea says North Korea has launched multiple ballistic missiles towards the sea. This is the latest in a series of weapons demonstrations this year. South Korea says the military has increased surveillance and is exchanging related information with the United States and Japan. Now, a positive update from California. Tens of thousands of people can return home after an evacuation order has been lifted. All weekend long, there have been concerns about a pressure buildup and an overheating chemical tank. This is happening at an aerospace facility near Anaheim. Safety crews now say the tank will likely not explode, which would have been the worst case scenario. But if it leaks, the chemicals inside are toxic if they get into the soil or into the air. Neighbors within a 9-mile radius of the city are still under evacuation warnings.